This is Duke University.
The ironic thing was that 2 days after the earthquake, there was supposed to be a writers' festival in Haiti called Étonnant Voyageur. And as one of the writers who was participating was Georges Anglade, who was a Canadian Haitian writer. He spent about 6 months in Haiti, 6 months in Canada. And his wife, Mireille Anglade, was a very impressive and well-known feminist thinker. And they were the first known losses in the writing community in Haiti. But their deaths, and I think Georges would be one of the first people to acknowledge this, kept reminding you of how many, kept reminding how many writers we might have lost. Aspiring writers, secret writers, reluctant writers, unknown writers. Zora Neale Hurston in Their Eyes Were Watching God says, there is no agony like bearing an untold story inside you. And the person who tells story in me always cannot help but wonder how many people died with their untold stories inside of them. But then again, most of us probably die with our untold stories inside of us. But what the way writers responded, and writers continue to respond to this tragedy, both writers in Haiti and the Haitian diaspora, has been an outpouring of testimony. And we've seen writers who were mostly fiction writers before turning to this new form of récit. Because testimony and the works that we've seen since is an antidote to these untold stories. And testimony is often our first response to tragedy. What I did, what I felt. And since we are here, you get the sense in a lot of the narratives that since we are here in lieu of others, we feel that we must testify, not just for us, but also for them. And part of that testimony is a quest to understand why you survived and others did not. Recently, for the anniversary of the earthquake, the Miami Herald did a documentary that aired on PBS called Le Bouquet. And one of the journalists in there, a very young journalist who works in Haiti, said that after the earthquake, he felt like he lost his faith. And of course, there are a lot of people who think sort of God is a mad artist sometimes. And he said he lost his faith because he couldn't believe, he couldn't understand how people were saying, thank God I'm alive, with so many people dead around them. But I think the testimony that we've seen emerge from the writers, some of the writers here and others, is part of that quest.
Produced by Duke University, online at duke.edu.